we are turning to Mehmet Cengiz from Sirnak University about the cancelled Hajj in pandemic time, the Maqaid al-Sharia, İstitaat, evidences and provisions. Please finalize your presentation in 15 minutes. I would also like to congratulate Turkish Religious Affairs Presidency for their organization. And again, may Allah's grace be upon those who prepared this organization. I also send my salutations and respect to those who are there physically listening our presentations. Let me begin. Hajj is an important prayer in our religion, and in Quran it specifies the time and conditions, and it also talks about what are the specific details of Hajj, and certain details are left to the words of our Prophet. There are certain conditions. As you know, Islam is a religion of mind, common sense, and every fiqh and other approaches accept Hajj as one of the most important worship of Islam. As it is mentioned in Ali Imran Surah. And it says that the farz, the obligation of Hajj is about the food and the traveling. And Istitaat is therefore open to discussion. Hanafi says that you should have food, you should have a ride, and you should also have bodily health. And also the road should be safe. Istitaat is covering those aspects as well. Shafis are dividing Istitaat into du'ais, together with food, ride, bodily health, safety, and also it also talks about those elderly people who cannot perform that duty himself or herself, can also can appoint another person to be able to do that worship on behalf of them. And Hanbalis are also supporting the opinions of Shafis. When we look at these two, bodily health and the road security are included. And they agreed on these four main pillars. It is showing the power of the implementation. According to Islamic fiqh, there are 5 basic principles about the life, mind, belonging, so these are under protection of God. Therefore, on the way of Hajj, people should be assured by their life, by their security, by their honor as well. Because Allah is not imposing on individuals who are not able to bear and who are not able to fulfill their safety and security. So in Hajj there are 3 aspects: Istitaat, the bodily, and also the road security, and Istitaat is important because the pilgrim should be safe all the way back and forth, and that's also advised by the scholars as well. And also the life, the property, the belongings, and also the honor of the pilgrims should be safe. Therefore, the people should be safe from wars, conflicts, savage animals or any other situation which will endanger the life, safety, and the honor of the pilgrims. And if any of those reasons, if any of these elements have been threatened, then they are not under the obligation to perform Hajj duty. Istitaat, Maqaid, and Masakat, I would like to talk about the relationship of these concepts as well. Istitaat is about the balance of rewards and punishment. Therefore, Allah would never oblige the people for those things that they cannot bear or they cannot physically or any other ways fit to do. According to this table, according to this picture, we can say that many of that worship, such as fasting, such as salah, they are all normal. However, natural disasters or any threats, type of obligations, you cannot impose on that. If you cannot push on that, it is not in line with Sharia. You cannot push the boundaries on the threats of natural disasters or wars or conflicts and just to fulfill that worship. Because just to purify your soul, you should not torture your body. That's also against the philosophy of Islam. Istitaat, the meaning is not only about the food and right, but the four fiqh included some other conditions as well, to be healthy, road safety. What is the basic condition? What is the reason that they all agreed on that? Not only food and right, but also road safety and being fit physically. You should go for a higher purpose here, because Allah will never impose on the ill, unfit, or those who cannot be capable of fulfilling the duties. Also, according to some hadiths of our Prophet, it is also possible that very ill father can actually appoint one of his relatives to perform that duty on behalf of him. So that also creates another freedom area. Let me say a couple of more things about istitaat. While looking at the evidences, we can say that in Islamic Sharia, Hajj as a nature is all about facilitation and enabling. There are surah from Quran proving that. All the worships in Islam, all worships should be based on the capabilities of the people. The obligation of no worship is requiring as many as Hajj. Hajj requires many other safety and other opportunities as other conditions as well. All these evidences show that in the fulfillment of Hajj duty, there is always a common sense that the other conditions should be met, such as the food right, road safety, and being physically fit. Also, it is essential certain mashakats should not be confused with each other. Just the existence of mashakat, then there is a condition for facilitation. When we look at the other, the tanshir itself cannot be taken as a evidence on its own. When we look at Maqaid al-Sharia, there are three important elements, zaruriyat, which means, as it is known, the life, mind, and honor should be preserved. the preservation of these assets are the basis. And in the worship of Hajj, each and every single principle should be protected. If there is no istitaat during the Hajj, if the life and also the honor is endangered, then there is no obligation of fulfilling Hajj that year for that individual. It is evident. If it is simultaneously happening, the fulfilling of Hajj or the endangering of life. If there is a conflict between four obligations, according to many, Al-Faqih talks about these four important aims: life, mind, fortune, and belongings are preferred over religion. According to this opinion, life, mind, siblings, and belongings, different from those, these are the right of individuals, but the religion is the right of Allah. And then there is a conflict between the rights of Allah and the rights of people. The priority is given to people because the rights of Allah is also explained with the ease, facilitation, and the vastness. However, the rights of people are limited by the limitations of being individual. If the right of Allah is not protected, this will give no damage to Allah. However, if the rights of people in their physical and limited body is violated, there will be lasting damage on their well-being. There are two basic principles here. Therefore, Hajj purposes are quite clear. You have 2 minutes. Okay. There are some historical examples as well. Some fatwas have been given to not fulfill Hajj duties because of the bandits on the way or terrorists, or sometimes road safety is not there. So for those years, the fatwa has instructed not to perform Hajj duty that year. We can see that from all sects, and it comes from important scholars of Islam. As a last remark, coronavirus has created a pandemic, started in 2019, and therefore the Hajj has been cancelled in 2020. Only a very limited number was exempted from that practice. As a result, we can say that global pandemic, because of COVID-19, since the people's life is under threat, it is one of the Istitaat condition. Therefore, human health and human life should be preserved, and it has superiority compared to fulfillment of Hajj duty. Al-Faqih also considers diseases, contagious diseases, as one of the conditions in which Hajj can be limited. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, distinguished professor, Professor Mehmet Cengiz.